All right. Well, good morning, all. It is a little bit after 10:30 here, 10:40, and we are back for a shortened version today. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a great one. Um, so just remember, this is just us documenting a journey of going from a quarter or $250 up to $1 million by learning Forex. So everything we're doing is a documentation. It's a journey. It's not recommendations. It's not guidance for you, but it's a way for you to learn and watch us as we're learning, because that's really what we're doing. We're learning and getting better and better, and going from there. So, Mike, you've already got a chart up. You're here. You're ready to roll. Why did you pull up Euro USD right now?
Oh, just where I was going to start, but I want to do one little thing, just step back quickly. So here, just general news really quick so we can take a look at it. Uh Orange folder, okay? German preliminary consumer price index month from month down, just slightly down, but it's down. And then you have a whole bunch of yellow folders. So what it's basically saying is euro things are either staying still or slightly moving down. On the dollar, most things are either staying where they were or they're slightly moving up, except for preliminary wholesale inventories. But overall, that's going to support a positive dollar. Now, for big news today, the stuff we want to pay attention to, crude oil inventories is a yellow folder, but we have these two: federal funds rate and then the FOMC statement, both at 2 p.m. and
Mm-hmm.
2:30. So these are all red folders. These can significantly impact things. All right. We go to quick shoot overs of FinViz, and I want to just do this quick. Things that stood out to me as I've been looking at this today: oil rises. Okay, we can get into that in a second. Um, okay, let's see. Japan tank exited. That's fine. Fed family. I thought I saw one other thing. Right here. U.S. core capital goods jumped by most since 2020. So that's again good thing.
Yeah.
Um, and there is more to it. JetBlue plans to recapture 30 to 40% of its fuel recapture fare rate hikes. We knew that was going to have to happen. If the price is going up, they got to recapture it. That airline industry already operates with such thin margins. Um, they need to recapture it somehow. So no big surprise there. And then down here, the Microsoft, if you are in AI, a lot of people are nowadays, but Microsoft Open AI marriage is on rocky ground. Okay, we spoke about that before. OpenAI, um, yeah, OpenAI kind of, I think Anthropic kind of has the upper hand right now over in the comparison of the two of them. X, as we've talked about before, is on a steady ground there, especially with where they're going. And so that's what we've talked about before extensively. But OpenAI was an early major leader in this space, and I still use ChatGPT for research. But when I need something that I can trust or gather more detailed information, I go straight to Anthropic and Claude. Claude is who I talk to daily. So that's my high level news. Um, right here, and we look at oil. Oil's up to 105.
Yeah.
So, things that happen, and just talk about that briefly. Yesterday, the UAE exited OPEC. Okay, that didn't really impact the price, though. Coincidentally, the thing that's really driving the price is the U.S.-Iran peace talks stalled, and they're kind of in a holding pattern. And quite frankly, the U.S. knows that we have a stranglehold on Iran's economy right now, and we have the leverage as of right now. Everything that I've seen, everything that I know, we have extreme leverage. And one thing that our president is phenomenal at is understanding leverage and using it to his full advantage. So I don't see anything happening until they basically the more they wait, I see this more of them having to give in to the demands if they want
Yeah.
to be able to have anything functional. They have a little bit of a chip, and they're trying to not they're trying to get a few things saying about the nuclear program. No, it's just not going to work, buddy. Sorry.
Well,
Anyway, I've seen this with companies try to hold on when it was way too late, and they hold on and they hold on and they hold on and they just fall deeper in a hole. And I kind of feel like that's what Iran's doing right now.
it's exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, and
I yep.
people say the president should be just finish him off. Really, he is. But he
Yeah.
doesn't have to spend the money on bombs on everything else. He doesn't
Right.
have to risk not only U.S. soldiers and military personnel and everybody that's out there, but he also doesn't have to risk hitting civilians because he doesn't have to fire a shot because it's economic war at this point.
Hmm. Yep.
So, but he's ready to do either, which is So I do agree. I think long term that's in the near term it's going to be finished, and it's going to be finished on our terms.
Yep. Yep. Natural gas, they said too, the US has more natural gas than we can use.
Hmm.
Again, good problem to have there, especially with natural gas being an issue in Europe, especially coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. So hey, don't worry, guess what we got? We can help you. So positive thing there.
Can I
Now,
just say one
what's
other
up?
thing on oil
Yep.
that so with the loss of Iranian oil for the world, right? Iran was doing what, 3 million barrels a day, something like that.
Yeah, roughly 20% is coming from the Strait through the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, right.
Yep.
But out of their 3 million, you've got UAE because you just talked about the split
Right.
of OPEC,
Right.
uh, and it's interesting because UAE could offset that difference by what it can produce all on its own.
Oh yeah.
And the whole idea of OPEC was, hey, we want to control the pricing, right? As a
Yep.
cartel, basically. And if you look at what, not only could they replace the oil out of Iran, but if you look at Saudi Arabia, they could double what's going to be missing from Iran. So it's not an issue whatever happens in Iran from that standpoint. This is just an issue for the Iranian people. That's the challenge. But from an oil perspective, what that means long term, if we're producing the amount of oil that we need, if the world has a glut of oil, or could have a glut of oil, because now there's no more price fixing or
Hmm.
less price fixing. I don't think there won't be any. I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
But with less of that, you're going to have a lot lower pricing. So this is going to lead to very much lower prices, I think, in gas and anything else we're using oil for, which means that ripples through the economies of the world, and that's a
Hmm.
benefit.
Yep. Also, too, I mean, you've talked about Saudi Arabia and certain other countries in there that are big oil producers in that region are already talking about just redirecting pipelines away from the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, Iran's big play is their chokehold on the Strait of Hormuz. If
Yeah,
the infrastructure starts going away from it to other bodies of water, they're screwed.
yeah,
And we're eliminating that too. And then if we don't, then yeah, okay, well now it's easier. We don't need to get rid of everything right there. And they can also be secondary pipelines, which we've talked about before. But bottom line is, I mean, it's not a it's temporarily catastrophic in certain areas, but it's not a issue that can't be resolved. It's not an unfixable issue. It's not.
right.
Yeah, they can work through it.
Long-term prognosis is good, very
Yeah,
good.
it's just gonna. It's not an immediate. There's no band-aid to put on it and say, okay, we're good for right now,
Right.
without Iran capitulating. So anyway, the reason why I brought up Euro USD is because we were talking about this the other day. Okay, so I got in on a buy yesterday, a good buy. You can see this right here. Again, we talked about the other day that there was like a head and shoulder pattern kind of
Yeah.
forming right here. We kind of had it, like right down to here and then back up to here.
Hmm.
But look at this. I mean, this has been a significant downtrend. Okay, and if we fib it, well, I'm not even gonna. It's because there's too many lines on the paper. I mean, on the screen. I'm not gonna add any more lines. But bottom line is, it's gone down to here, shot back up. What did it do? It went down, a little back up, down, back up, down, back up. So that pattern says this is going down.
Yes.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's below the 50. It's below Jerome. They're both pointing down. This is on a 4-hour.
Hmm.
Okay. So yesterday I had got in on, I believe it was this. Yes. I got in down here. I got in when it dropped back to here. It hit the front wall of the demand zone. I was waiting for it to hit the back wall. It didn't. I said, man, close enough to the front wall. I'll jump in. I'm confident in this. I took it up for, I don't know, like 80 pips or something like that, and then jumped
Nice.
out. Whatever. It was short, but it was sweet. And then I got out. And
I love that. It was short, but it was sweet. Nice.
yeah, but I mean, like, and again, too, this is part of the growth and the maturation of understanding the process. Was I okay with only making that amount? No, I wanted a lot more, but that was greed. The market said what the market said, and I just had to live within it. And I got out, and that was the right call because I would have lost it all shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So needless to say, um, also coincidentally, Donnie next week, just in a full transparency, announced that he is no calls. I think last night and no call Thursday night. this Thursday, but he did say that he's doing $1,000 challenge next week where he's going to show you how you can take an account up to $1,000 and then take that to 20,000. So that's very much in alignment with stuff that we're doing.
Yes.
So I'm very interested in seeing what he does there. And it's more just about lot sizes. He's like, you're going to see like 0.3, 0.5 lot sizes as the accounts grow. And this is what I want to show you guys. So I'm very curious to see that. But right here, I mean, this is what I'm getting at. If we kind of expand this out, if we look at the zones that we have created, not a lot of new movement. We have this zone that was created on Friday. That's still existent. This is old. This is newer right here. This is from last night. It is from yesterday at 9 a.m. And this is from yesterday at 5 p.m. Besides that, no new zones or anything created today. Was waiting for this pullback. It did pull back to just above the 50. I didn't get in yet. Because 1 hour is similar. This bottom line right here is strong. You have a support line and base from the 1 hour, plus we have the back wall of a demand zone. And you'll see that right here. If we shoot over to the 1 hour, this is that support line and base. And that goes from over here. And then we have the support line and low right here. And we have these demand zones. So, I mean, again, looking very similar. Watching it, seeing what it's doing. Again, staying primarily on the 1 hour, 4 hour. This is approaching the front wall. Let's see what it does here. This could come back. But again, nothing really earth-shattering here right now. We're just watching it, and I'm looking for bigger movements. When I think I can make a big play on a big movement, I'm interested. If it's a small play, if it's a no-brainer, I'll jump in. But I'm looking for candle movements that are at least that size, if not double that, is what I'm looking for.
I'm with you there. I'll tell you, I did really well on the 2 trades I took the other day when we're on the
yeah, I did well too.
If you notice, by the way, with that going up, it just hit the 10, that bullish candle there. We now have an engulfing candle.
Yep. What do we got for time? 5 minutes. So let's see what it does.
A lot of time left, and it's moving fast.
Yep.
For Euro USD.
Right.
So
I'm going to do this. I'm going to split this screen, and I'm going to see, is there any news that's emerging? As we're seeing that fly up.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is there anything else? Let's see. Bring that back into center screen. That's still going up past the 10 towards the 20.
Iran will boost cons.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Above 6 million barrels a day export on the U.S. of crude. Yep. That's pretty amazing.
And structured and planned.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
That's not accidental. Yep. That's great though. Let's see. Brent extends gains over Trump orders extend blockage hurdles. Yep. So this is part of the big reason right there. I mean, 1025 for oil, especially. Brent extends gains after Trump orders extended blockade. Huddles with oil execs over Hormuz. Summary: Trump recently met this week with oil and gas executives at the White House to address energy fallout as oil pushes higher. Okay, so while oil is struggling for there, well, we have 2 coasts. And on one of our other coasts, if you come in through the canal, we have access in the Gulf of America, might I add, to oil, a lot of oil.
Yep.
So expect that to kind of jump up.
Yeah.
Would be my expectation while this is being handled.
But it's interesting because if you look, oil hasn't moved since we started this podcast for the most part. I mean, it's moved
right.
Pennies, but it hasn't moved significantly, whereas the Euro USD did in the opposite direction. Now we're below engulfing candle territory with 3 minutes.
3 minutes left though. Yep.
Yeah. So anything can happen, but it was interesting that it was engulfing. So close to the end. We know that like the last 15 minutes of an hour or 4 hour candle are really more volatile anyways.
Yep.
We've just seen that. So
and this right here too. I mean, this is we know this already.
Yep.
U.S. naval blockade pushes Iran's currency to record low.
What about that? Now we're dropping. That was a weird blip. But what about that or any of these pieces would actually make the euro stronger over the US dollar or the US dollar weaker compared to the euro?
It's a good question. See, this would make the dollar stronger. That's the only things the stuff I'm seeing immediately right now would make the dollar stronger, not weaker.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not what Euro USD is showing. What about, let's
No.
look at the dollar index for a second.
Yep.
That's a I mean, that's a blip, but it's no, it's moving up. So something strengthening the dollar
Yep.
on
This is the 1
that.
hour.
That's a little bit, but
Yep.
we're looking at strengthening the euro.
Yep. What about the VIX? Where are we at here? Yeah.
I was on the 4 hour on the dollar. Yeah,
there's a dollar right there on the 4 hour.
Yeah. And in the VIX, because I just jumped to that as well.
Yep.
So volatility is not up significantly.
No.
Or down for that matter. So
no.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because that was a pretty good move.
Yeah.
But now that move, going back to the 4 hour on USD, Euro USD.
It's going back up above it again right now with a minute left on the 1 hour. So we're going to basically close this out right as this candle closes, just to give you guys a heads up. But what, again, indicating here, we're waiting. If this closes, then I'm just going to show you how I prep this right now. So if I'm getting in on this, because this is not going to be creating a demand zone, most likely. So I'm going to go right now to this candle right here, and I'm going to do this from 1 to 0. And then I'm going to choose my template and do the 50. Why? Because this is the number I'm getting in at. If this is engulfing and it pulls back to 16940, which is basically the front wall,
yep,
then I'm getting in. So in this scenario, I probably
left. Looks like it's engulfing.
Yep.
So 1.1694.
Yep. Let's see, 1 second, done. Okay, we got a new candle. We have an engulfing candle. So 16940 would be my entry on the pullback.
Yep.
I am actually going to, on a separate screen, I am going to create that quick. I'm going to do a buy limit. I am going to say 1.16.
Perfect timing.
Okay. We can end this right now too. That's just what I'm setting up. But again, we'll follow up tomorrow on what happened with this, but waiting for that candle to pull back to 1.16940, take the buy, ride it up to, ideally I'd ride it up to the 66, at least the 20.
Yep.
I would say my TP1 would be 20, my TP2 would be right around the 66, if not at that base, right around 1.171 is where I'd be looking. So that's what my focus is going to be on that. And my end is going to be that 16889. That's going to be my stop loss right at the bottom of that candle, right below that 16889.
So that makes total sense to me, and I'm in it with you.
All right.
Hey,
report back tomorrow.
Have a great day, folks.